Jack Ginnivan, the Collingwood superstar on the rise. He's a very young, very talented footballer that kind of got famous last year off his exaggerating ducking and diving to get free kicks and basically corrupting the AFL umpiring system. He kind of ruined that all. The umpires were really on him at the start of the year, basically giving every single free he dived for, and throughout the year, basically they kind of got less lenient, even on free kicks that were there. They weren't giving it to him, as that's kind of became his forte, what he was famous for doing. And it was pretty upsetting to a lot of AFL fans if you're not a Collingwood supporter or maybe a young supporter, who knows. But a lot of people that I know that weren't Collingwood supporters absolutely hated what Jack Ginnivan did. But apart from that, there was nothing else to say. He wasn't an illegal player. He wasn't doing anything dirty. He was never doing stuff off the field that anyone knew of. I mean, we had a cricket game that he got a century off. He just looked like he was just winning in life, up and coming here. He's only 20 years old. He's been a superstar, one of the best forwards at Collingwood Football Club. He's also killing it off field with that cricket century as well. What can he not do? Well, it just came out in the news today that he admits to taking an illicit drug, an illicit substance. He was in a hotel after an injury or something, and he went into the bathroom after a few drinks and did some drugs with a few friends. He said his teammates were unaware. I doubt that's the case if he was hanging out with his teammates. I think he was just didn't want to kind of incriminate them or snitch on them. But I think what happened here, well, from what I read in the article from 7 News, was basically there wasn't a video from him. I think maybe he could have been potentially blackmailed, and then that caused him to come out to the club, which then the club urged him to go out to the news, kind of get ahead of things. Now, the club has suspended him for the preseason practice matches as well as the first 2 games of the season, and he received the $5,000 suspended sanction too, basically a fine that will be paid later on. Now, do I think this is fair? I don't know. 2 weeks, if I look on precedents, it's not fair at all. I think the AFL needs to come in and put a stamp and really suspend him for a longer term. When you look at Mac Andrews, he got suspended for 2 weeks too, but he was done for drinking and driving, which had nothing to do with an AFL contract. But with drugs and substances, that does have to do with the AFL contract. You can't just go getting high off on your off time. Like, you can't just be doing that. Like, you're still a role model. Plus, you still got to play it, and as a painkiller as well. It's an extreme painkiller that gets you over things, you know. And this comes out after he was all those pictures came out with him getting that boot to the face and that injury and that match sim. So it's all kind of crashing down for the young 20-year-old. Now, he was asked if this is a rare occasion. He said, yep, it's pretty rare. It's a private, he went to the bathroom. It was a private place. He didn't think people were videoing, so that kind of just admits that there is a video there the club wasn't aware of. He also claims that he had mental health issues in the year 2022 by getting booed from his injury and everything surrounding his ducking and everything. Basically, kind of we've seen this with Bailey Smith. When he got done with the cocaine thing, he claimed mental health issues straight away, and that kind of gave him a bit of an escape spot. But Ginnivan here says, however, that he had mental illness. This played no part in his choice to choose to do drugs, and he says he regrets it, and he's saying sorry, and he was struggled. It seemed like he was struggling to get the words out too. He was a bit choked up. I think he was really, really upset with himself, and I know he knows he let everyone down. And it's hard not to feel bad for him. He's only 20, but as much as I hate Collingwood, I hate to see this. And I'll say this again, as much as I hate Collingwood, they must have pretty good leadership groups, because if there's a video obviously come out, but you could have just, they could have tried to pay it off and everything like that and not had it come out and just kind of swept it on the rug and did an in-house kind of punishment thing. But you see this constantly. Like when Jaden Stevenson did that whole betting scandal, Jeremy Howard said, mate, you're going to have to go in and confess straight away. And he copped, the year ban for betting on the games. And that's fair play to them, because you look at teams like Hawthorn, Geelong, Sydney, some of the top Melbourne clubs too, big Melbourne clubs, even like Richmond had a lot of drug scandals too. And you looked at West Coast, they had drug scandals that swept under the rug too, that people didn't know about till the longest time. Everyone hears about Essendon, but that's because that was the one that was really reformed against, that everyone really punished them on. But not many teams come out publicly and just say this, look, we fucked up. And Collingwood did that quite a lot. They are a club that do mess up quite a lot with racial issues, drug issues, but as much as I hate them, they are somewhat honourable club, even though there are a lot of things they do incorrectly, they do call it out, which is honourable. They claim their own mistakes. Look, I don't know what's next for Ginnivan. I think he would come back fine. After Smith came back, he was completely fine. I don't think really anyone really cares anymore about the Smith thing. There'll be a couple more cracks and jokes about him snorting up cocaine and stuff like that. But apart from that, I think Ginnivan will probably do his 2 weeks. He'll pay his fine later in the year, and there'll be nothing to it unless he's caught again or there's another separate issue. I really doubt that AFL comes in. I think probably they should, to try to stamp out and really put a stance on this, because this is the third, fourth time in the last couple of years that this has happened, and it's a drug issue. It's a proper drug issue in the AFL. It's been a drug like sport for a while now, and it's not just it's not performance enhancing. That's rare occasion, but all these role models are taking a lot of substance. You had Shane Mumford, you had the whole Dane Swan and Dustin Martin thing in Vegas, you had countless others too, like Ben Cousins, the big famous one as well down in Perth, and you've just got even more. Like I said, Shane Mumford was shouted chanting sausage about his drug scandal, about his cocaine use. But that's all I got to say. What do you think about Jack Ginnivan? Do you think he'll come back stronger, or do you think that he might get done a little bit more? I think he's fine. I think he'll come back after 2 weeks. He'll slide back in, hopefully. I don't really know, because he's got to fight for that role because Bobby Hill's in there. I don't know how they both fit in the same team. We'll have to see. Let me know what you think Collingwood should do going forward, how you think Ginnivan will come back after his 2 week suspension. And please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video around, and thank you for watching.